it gets better. You gotta listen.
Cut the cake. The night is your destiny. Wait so share toast with your closest mates.
It's your birthday.
This song stays with you too. Haunt my nightmares.
It's your birthday.
Good morning, everybody. And what you talking about, Philadelphia? I don't even know where to go from there. Literally, the entire studio was thrashing their heads. Luckily, I have hair metal hair. But thank you so much. In case you couldn't get the guess, by the way, welcome to Find It at Fishtown Live on WWDB 860 AM. Your long wait, the anticipation that has been killing you is over. A week has passed, and Kay and I are back on the air bringing you fun, frolic, and, of course, infotainment. But before we get to this, I have what could be a fire hazard sitting right next to me.
Right, you should probably blow
of
that
a
out.
birthday cake. Kay, thank you. Matt, thank you. Tayrn McCarty, our lovely guest who's sitting here, thank you. I'm going to blow this out, and then, of course, be winded after that. Thank you very much. Yes.
Happy birthday, Marc!
And I think Kay knows better than anybody my dying need for attention. This fills that perfectly. So thank you very much. In case you didn't know, I'm Marc Colazzo with the cream cheese to my bagel. Kay Anderson. And Kay, thank you so much. That's very sweet.
Oh, of course. Got to do something for your birthday.
Because you know you wouldn't have heard the end of it if you didn't.
Oh, absolutely. Randy made sure to remind me.
Yes, thank you, Randy. I know Randy Sherwood is listening. One of the straws that stirs the drink at the Fishtown district. She, of course, has been up since 5:30 in the morning, plotting how to make this a perfect day. So thank you. It is, of course, payback for rejecting me in high school. So,
Oh, I got you one more thing, too. Hold on 1 second.
all right, well, I'm going to keep talking while Kay is meandering around the office. But it is a beautiful day. This, of course, Find It at Fishtown Live is brought to you by the fabulous Fishtown District. Oh, I love you. Okay, for those that are, by the way, the fabulous Fishtown District, home of the best in restaurants, taverns, retail, living, strolling, just being. If you want it, if you want the best, you can find it in Fishtown. And where, by the way, Kay, can you find out all the great things happening in Fishtown?
You can go to our website, fishtowndistrict.com, or you can visit us on YouTube, Fishtown District, or you can go to our Facebook, Fishtown District.
And I hope you're doing that to Facebook now, where we are, of course, live streaming, so you can see really a dentist or doctor's nightmare. Kay wants to make sure that I tempt diabetes with a birthday cake and, of course, a 6-pack of Coke, which, of course, is my true addiction in life. So I love you dearly. Thank you so much.
You are very welcome.
I kind of really feel like stopping the show now because it's only going to go downhill from here for me. So I'm going to turn it over as we take the long walk over to Kay's Corner. You have really cool music. By the way, have you ever heard that birthday song before?
No, I have not. I have not ever heard that birthday song before. I don't know that I ever want to hear it again.
They have it one for every name.
Oh, God.
It's awesome. I'm sure they have one for Kay.
Was my name in that?
Yeah, it said happy birthday,
Oh,
Marc.
I was frightened by the guy screaming at me.
It's all right.
That's
I'm glad
great,
you stopped
though.
sweating.
Thank you very much, Matt.
Oh, man. So today in Fishtown, besides being Marc's birthday, that's probably the most important holiday of Fishtown. So please call in. Make sure you celebrate. Marc, what's the number if they want to call in and wish you a happy birthday?
And please call 888-329-3306. That's 888-329-3306. Call to say hi. Talk to Kay, talk to Tayrn, and talk to our upcoming guest, Betty Smithsonian, who will, of course, crack you up and, of course, I'm sure make fun of me and my birthday and things going on here. Go ahead, Kay.
So in addition to that, tomorrow is actually our Sip for Students event. So if you haven't already purchased your tickets, I'm sorry, but I think it's sold out.
It is sold out. We got our wine.
Yes, we did.
Our lovely 3 bottles. Because there's nothing better than sitting in your house downing 3 bottles of wine in an hour. It's 3 bottles.
Oh, wow. I feel so much more excited about it tomorrow.
Yes. Well, but it's cultural because we're tasting. We got to thank, of course, Fishtown's wine goddess, Vanessa Wong and Fishtown Social. And, of course, we're doing it. Obviously, all proceeds go right back to Fishtown Social. We want to make sure that we help our local businesses have a little fun, but also bring some attention to one of our local schools, the Liguori Academy, and how our folks can help sponsor a student, really become a mentor and help a child go through 4 years of high school. Tayrn, by the way, you will not be joining us tomorrow because you're going to be partaking in New York. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
That means you don't care about the children at all? Is that what I'm hearing?
Of course I care about the children.
Of course, yes. Of course, Tayrn loves children. So, I'm sorry, Kate. Back to the corner. I didn't mean to bring an uninvited guest in.
No, you're fine. So the other thing that I wanted to mention is we do have a blood drive coming up, don't we?
I think we do. I think literally I'm gonna be like pasty white from all the blood we have to give. Because didn't we have one on like St. Patty's Day?
Yes, we had one on like the 17th. Valentine's Day, and now we have another one in April. So
and I think what we teach everybody is if you think of love, think of something sucking all the blood from your body. Thank you very much. Said the divorced man.
I was gonna say that's definitely only Marc who says that.
No,
but if you're
I love
cynical.
Love it all.
But yeah, so you can find information about that blood drive. Go to redcross.org. Keyword the Fillmore Filla.
Awesome. And it's such a beautiful, we were lucky we've had beautiful weather, Kay. Mm-hmm. So now people are out and about enjoying the Fishtown district. We encourage you, if you're looking for something to do, we have it for you. I know the other day, because literally our office is on 15th and North Front. And
1500 block of Front.
1500 block of North Front. That's what I was saying, by the way. But you could see the cavalcade of people parading by. So it's nice to see. Come join us. And, it's great now to start seeing people out and about. Mm-hmm. Again, though we have not caught up with the rest of what it seems the world with the lifting of restrictions, we are still... I think the arrow's pointing up, Kay, and, while it hurts us as we try to plan wonderful events, it is a nice thing that I think this summer we could have something resembling normalcy.
Absolutely. And I did, on that note, since there were so many people out last weekend, I wanted to mention that we did have a very successful cleanup. If you've been in the Fishtown neighborhood this week, it looks amazing. So shout out to all of the groups who came out and helped participate. SEPTA, we had a bunch of volunteers from Rivers Casino, some folks from Weckerly's, and
26 PDAC.
26 PDAC.
Representative Mary Isaacson?
Yes, Mary Isaacson. I saw Frank Iannuzzi from Council Member Derek Green's office.
Was he there?
Yes, he was.
Oh. You have to say something. I was knee-deep in trash, Tayrn.
I have pictures to prove it.
Yes,
Marc was really cleaning.
Yeah, everybody assumed, only because I kept saying it, that I was going to look busy and not do anything. I had to, shovel. I was, it's because I care about my community, okay? And it was important. But thanks so much for all the folks that came out. We had really a small city of volunteers going through there. And I think what was great is, as we were covering one part of Fishtown Neighbors Association was out covering another part. East Kensington Neighbors Association. So we literally covered the entire corridor.
Absolutely.
So I guess we have to get to really Matt's favorite part now, which is, what's Marc wearing?
Oh, hi, Marc.
What are you wearing? What are you wearing? What are you wearing?
This is amazing.
Oh my God, this could be the greatest day of my life.
What are you wearing today?
Could you send me that? I actually want that to play to me every morning when I wake up.
It's actually a children's song.
That's okay.
Okay, I'll send
Some
it to
say
you.
I can relate.
Okay.
Well, and as our guest Tayrn is getting used to, as she's getting to know me, is I don't like subtlety.
No
So
way.
my fashion tends to be sports and loudness. But today...
Loud noises!
Thank you, Brick. That today I wanted, the last couple times Matt was infuriated with my fashion choices because I wore a Green Bay Packers shirt. For those that remember, there was a very large G in the middle of my chest. What did I wear? Oh, Houston Astros I wore. You hated
Yes.
that. So today is my New York Yankees Hawaiian shirt that says Savages on it because I am. But also, in case those that don't know, the manager, Aaron Boone, someone asked about his lineup, and he said, they're Savages. Some clever marketing person said, Marc will buy a shirt with pinstripes that says the word Savages.
Yes.
But I didn't stop there. And always remember that everything matches.
Oh, of course.
If you don't like it. So, because it's navy blue, the jeans are navy blue, which I didn't know they made navy blue jeans, but I somehow find it.
I had no idea.
I think I have to stand for this, so excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm going to knock everything over. I have, for those who are watching, my Mickey Mantle rookie card socks and my Beatles sneakers. So I've covered the entire rainbow on one person. Tayrn, how excited are you right now to be getting a gander at this?
Wildly excited.
You're very welcome.
Can you explain the matching part to me with the Beatles shoes?
I'm
I'm
a
a
little
little
There's
confused.
blue in it. There's blue in it.
Oh,
There's-
I thought you were matching
Did-
on the Savage
Did you
side. Like,
did you see all the colors in like right there, right in John's chin is a little blue.
okay, sure.
George has some.
Yeah,
Don't knock
we'll go
John,
with it.
Paul, George,
see
and
it.
Ringo.
Yeah,
How
we'll go with it.
dare you?
It's not about the Beatles. I'm not knocking the Beatles. I'm just saying I didn't understand the matching. But
Oh, I see a call coming.
ooh,
I knew this call was. I believe this is our Florida correspondent calling. Am I correct, Matt? Tell me when we're ready. She may even sing.
oh, I hope so.
This is the lovely and talented, the woman who brought me to the world, my mom. Good morning, Mom. Mom, are you there?
She's not quite ready yet, but maybe soon.
She's clearly prepping.
That must be.
Mom, are you there?
Happy birthday
There you go.
to you. I thought that this was really a good time to call when you were talking about your attire.
Thank you very much. Well, I know you respect my taste,
Because
Mom.
I can't see you just at this moment because it's probably not on Facebook yet.
It is on Facebook.
It is on
It's-
Facebook.
It
Oh,
streams
it is.
live, Mom.
Oh, my goodness.
This is technology today.
Okay, well, it's a little early. So
Oh, I know. I understand. There's a lot going on down in
There's not
Del
much
Boca
going
Vista.
on. Oh, actually, Eloise is waiting to come in.
Oh, good.
Oh, wait, there now. Oh, my God, now I do
Mom, you're
see
actually
it.
on the air on the radio. Did you know that? You're not. I don't know if you realize you're not just talking to me.
No, I did realize because I didn't. That's why I did it on purpose to
Oh,
call
well, thank
instead
you.
of call you on your cell phone.
Well, that's lovely. Let's tell the
I
world
see you
how
already
excited.
have a cake there, so I'm not the first to call because after all, I was there that day. We did share it together.
But you know what? I don't know if you remember this, Mom. You were not the first. You were not the first person I met.
No?
Well, you were asleep, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. It was
See?
the old days.
I had met
Yeah,
some. I
I
met some
really
medical
was.
staff before.
Oh, a container of Coke. And what kind of birthday cake is that?
Okay, what type of birthday cake?
It's
is it?
vanilla on vanilla.
Yeah, you know what I like, Mom.
That's my favorite, too. It's
Oh.
lovely, Kay.
She did a
Hi,
good job.
Kay. How are you?
Mom,
I'm
say
good.
hi
How
to
about
Kay
you?
and say hi to
Hi,
Tayrn.
Kay.
Hi.
I heard you were talking about your cleanup this weekend, and I did see it, and
Good.
that was very wonderful.
You
Mom-
saw
That
all
was
the
really
pictures of Marc cleaning.
Did you see
I
me
did.
out there cleaning, Mom?
nice. Yeah.
Were you never more proud of me than that moment?
Well, I didn't know you could do it. The only thing I knew
Thank
you
you-
could do
thank
was
you for
make
your
your
faith in
bed.
me.
But yeah, so that's good. But okay, so now I'm looking at the shirt, and I think you really need to think about what you're going to bring when you come to Florida.
I already did. I have my Houston
Oh,
Astros
God, I'm
shorts.
I'm really a little scared.
Just always remember that it matches, Mom, and I look adorable in it. But let's talk
Okay.
about for people that don't know, and this is
Yeah.
in no way a coincidence. My mom knows this. That when I was born, April 14th, 1968, it was Easter Sunday.
Yeah, I do know that.
Well, I know you know it, Mom. You were there.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
telling our
Yeah.
many thousands of listeners. That,
Okay.
and don't you think it was not a coincidence that it was the significance of Easter, and then I showed
It
up.
was. It just. I'm
Didn't
sure
you
it
tell
was.
Daddy that you were going to name me Jesus?
Well, I don't remember that part, but
Well, I don't. I think you had told me that. I was quite
yeah,
small.
No, I really don't remember that, but maybe you made that up in your head, but that's fine.
Could be.
Yeah, but yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
this is everything good. So, you, as our Florida correspondent, Mom, then we have to move on to our guests.
Yeah, no, that's why
How
I did
are
it
things
first, because I
happening
didn't
in-
want to interrupt your car.
What is happening in Florida? How is the weather down there?
The weather is absolutely gorgeous.
Oh,
We had
good.
horrible storms this weekend, but I mean really, really horrible that like the dog was really scared.
Well,
for
for those who don't know, that's my mom's
But I
little
will
poodle,
say-
Eloise.
I will say that I was thrilled because I needed my grass and my plants needed the water, so I was happy that it rained.
Good. So
Maybe
you're
not as severe as it did, but it was pretty bad.
You're
but
always
that's all.
thinking
Today
of
is,
the environment.
Today is beautiful. Maybe see one little cloud. It's gorgeous, and
Well, that's
it's
wonderful.
it's beautiful. What about up there?
It's beautiful today. It's going to be like 67. It's sunny outside.
Well, I spoke to my friend yesterday.
Mom,
in New
we're going to be
Jersey.
very
She
quick
said it
on
was
this one.
She said it was freezing.
Well, maybe she's very cold-blooded. It wasn't freezing yesterday.
Well, she's near the beach, and she said it was 48.
All right. Well, thank you for calling, Mom, and I think for
Anyhow,
the rest
well,
of
I
Philadelphia.
I just want to wish you a wonderful day and a wonderful year. And there's things I say every year. I won't go into it now.
Thank you
but
very much,
I mean
Dr.
it.
Phil.
And I'll talk to you later.
I look forward to it, Mother. Thanks for calling.
Okay, have a good hour.
All right, bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Where do we go from there? And if
think we
anybody
just-
want to have the question answered of how did I turn out like this, you got it right there.
Right. I think we just need to take a little quick break after that.
I think I
Pay
need
some
one.
bills.
Yeah, I do. We'll be back in 2 and 2 at Find It in Fishtown Live on WWDB 860 AM.
It's been part of Philly for over 10 years, so Rivers Casino Philadelphia knows how you like to play. With better odds, more playtime, an upgraded rewards program, plus a state-of-the-art sports book, great restaurants, and more. Everything that real players want, without the overpriced distractions. Rivers Casino Philadelphia is for those who play to win, not play to pay for some fancy new place. Rivers Casino Philadelphia, always on our game. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Crooked teeth may embarrass kids whose families can't afford braces, and trying to fix their teeth themselves can make things worse. Luckily, there's Donated Orthodontic Services, a program from the American Association of Orthodontists. For children and teens who qualify and are matched with a volunteer orthodontist, treatment can be life-changing and help them smile with confidence. Learn more at aaoinfo.org. Some kids never smile. They're embarrassed by their crooked teeth. They want braces like the other kids, but their families can't afford them. Some may even try to straighten their teeth themselves. That can make everything worse. Luckily, there's Donated Orthodontic Services, a program from the American Association of Orthodontists. It helps provide orthodontic treatment to kids and teens whose families can't afford it. For kids who apply, are approved, and are matched with a volunteer orthodontist, it can be life-changing. Their treatment is in the hands of an expert, a licensed local orthodontic specialist who improves their smiles by correctly aligning teeth and jaws. Some kids think they'll never smile again, but Donated Orthodontic Services may help them smile with confidence. To link to the application and eligibility requirements, visit aaoinfo.org.
Welcome back, everybody, to Find It in Fishtown Live. And what you talking about, everybody? Brought to you.
Let's go now.
Oh, well, thank you, Kay. First off, I just want to make sure I go through all of our reads first.
Absolutely. That's important.
Find It in Fishtown Live on WWDB 860 AM. Also brought to you by the fabulous Fishtown District for the best in dining, shopping, spirits, hospitality. I could go on and on. When you want the best, you can find it in Fishtown. And Kay, where can people find out everything happening in the Fishtown District?
FishtownDistrict.com.
And if they want to, by the way, we're live streaming this. And do me a favor, Matt and Kay, save my mom's portion of the call for the commitment hearings that we're going to have for her.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think I'll get a call for that later, too. What were you saying? If you want to give a call in and join the party, and why wouldn't you, give us a call at W888-329-3306. That's 888-329-3306. One of the great things about the Fishtown district is we're not just the home to really the best in dining, we're the best in entertainment. And we have the Punchline Philly, really the comedy mecca of the region. And tonight, playing at the Punchline Philly is the really funny comedians who happen to be women. And I want to read this little ad about them before we bring on our first guest. Are you ready? Because it quotes an English playwright. We don't get to do that here much.
Is it Shakespeare?
No.
Ooh.
No.
There's
it is
another
not.
English playwright?
Apparently.
Oh my God, I had no idea.
I think he was the other one.
They probably just call him that too.
Yeah,
the other
exactly.
One. Not Shakespeare.
You weren't Shakespeare. English playwright, where did my voice go there? English playwright William Congreve said in 1695, I have never made any observation of what I apprehend to be true humor in women. Possibly the first person to say women aren't funny. That's probably why he wasn't as good as Shakespeare. Congreve probably didn't know any better because he was born too early to catch really funny comedians who happen to be women show. Come and see the latest crop of up-and-coming funny ladies. William Congreve stands corrected. And we have one of these funny ladies sitting with us on the Find It in Fishtown hotline. You know her, you love her, you can't live without her. Betty Smithsonian. Welcome, Betty.
Heyo, what's going on? Can everyone hear me okay?
We can hear you great. Thanks for joining us today.
Hold on, Mark. 1 second, Mark. I'm just texting with your mom. Give me
Please
1 second.
Yes, if you could take the pressure off of me, that would be great.
Oh, God. What's it like to have a parent that calls you? That sounds lovely.
Oh, she's a lovely, wonderful woman. You have to devote like an hour, Betty, because I might get to speak 2 minutes. She's got a lot of stories, a lot of details to share. What Eloise did, which is the dog.
Yeah.
So
I feel like at a certain age, my parents have done this too, where they just, you pick up the phone with them and they immediately just start listing what they have done all day.
yes.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
They pause for 1 second, they might die. So they need to just keep the train going. Oh, we went to the farmer's market. They had cucumbers. There was eggplant. We got out of the car. This is so silly. We saw Gladys there. She was there. She had eggplant.
And they don't realize that you don't know who Gladys is. Like there are names.
They don't even know who Gladys is. They don't know who Gladys is.
No, still
but they
to
know
this
she
day.
had eggplant.
Yes. Had a lovely eggplant. I was jealous of the eggplant that I didn't have as big an eggplant.
There's a lot of eggplant jokes we could be making right now, but I'm going to let them sit.
Let the record reflect that we've already made 3. Thank you, Betty.
Thank you. Mark and Kay, is there anyone else in the studio? Or we
There's Tayrn is here. The lovely Tayrn McCarty's here.
Hi there.
Tayrn, what's up, Tayrn?
How are you?
Why don't you just say hello to everybody?
Tayrn runs the entire e-gaming community in the Philadelphia region. So she's a pretty important gal.
Wow.
Tayrn is agreeing like, you're darn right I do.
Except I'm not.
So Betty, tell me how you got into the comedy game. Not the easiest thing to do, and certainly William Congreve didn't think you're funny. So how do we prove that wrong?
Oh, I gotta say, I love how often men get asked how they got into comedy and how hard it is to be a male in comedy. I think that's a question we need to start asking more of. I think just as a general rule. How mediocre men get to do things and just get to live in the world without really working as hard. I think we should start with those.
That's a great question.
Then I can tell you.
I think that's the title of my autobiography.
Mediocre men, I think that should just be the name of the male comedy showcases, right? Mm-hmm.
It's how do you put up with us? I've always wondered.
Not you, Mark.
Yeah, well, I'm a delight.
Put up with you?
I'm a delight.
Is this AM radio station allow for cursing, or is this a clean show?
We should keep it clean.
We're going to keep it clean.
Keep it clean. Okay. Mark,
yes.
How I put up with you? I'm a lesbian. That's how I put up with you.
Listen, that's probably the only
way.
You are, yes. I often, because I'll listen, I'm with me pretty much every day, and I often get sick of me. So
I want to say that the name of the show is specifically around I was just busting. I was just doing a bit, but getting a space and a stage for marginalized folks in any community to have a time to be on stage. I think that's super, super important. So I wasn't trying to downplay the importance of that. I was just kind of riffing on this thing that I think I get asked all the time. I think it's rather than just assume that, I don't know. I think there's something interesting to it. But I will say that I'm a twin, and being a kid, I think the reason I got into comedy and storytelling, to answer your question, Marc, was for attention and to stand out from my twin sister, or to get, a little bit more of that identity, because we were, twins. Do you know anyone who's a twin? Is anyone here?
So the same reason that Marc wears loud clothing is why you became a comedian?
Attention.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
I totally get it.
You have to understand something, Betty. As you could have guessed from my mother's conversation, I was raised as veal, meaning I was raised to be slaughtered in life. So I was like the baby.
Yeah.
They just didn't let you touch the ground?
Yeah, so I sort of just took that into my, and I think I peaked. I was 6. People would stop my mother down the street and go, "My God, he's gorgeous," and now life happened, and I'm this.
So
but
Betty,
back to Betty.
What can we expect from the show tonight besides funny women? Tell me more.
So, I'll be honest, y'all. I haven't done an indoor comedy show in over a year. I just got fully vaccinated.
Hey,
all right.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Welcome to the
It's only been a
club.
couple weeks. Thank you. It's only been a couple weeks, and my COVID tail is already 3 inches, which is, they say it should be about this at this time.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, then you're
on
normal.
track. Yeah.
Yeah. So tonight you should expect, ideally, a really good time maybe in a moment where we're just now kind of re-emerging into this space. And I'll be honest with y'all, I'm nervous. I'm nervous to go into an indoor space where there's all these restrictions and still kind of this energy of pandemic, and try to keep an audience connected and laughing. But we're gonna do that tonight, and you're gonna get that. I have a year's worth of comedy bits that I have been writing for the contractors that are working outside my house that I'm now gonna try to tell to the audience. So that's what you can expect. A lot of smoothing concrete bits, a lot of look at all that garbage on the street bits, stuff like that.
Well, did they work on the contractors?
Did they work? Well, the contractors are where. That's a great question, Kay. Thank you. No,
done,
they
Kay.
bombed with the contractors. I just think it needed a little bit more workshopping. Plus, the contractors are wearing those big ear things.
Yeah, they
were
probably
really
didn't
just-
hear them, the jackhammer and all that.
Right. They were just seeing a lesbian clown on her porch kind of pointing and stuff. So they thought that was funny.
Why am I picturing all of this happening in South Philly? Please tell me I'm right.
Same.
Are you kidding? I'm in West Philly. Come on now.
Oh, man.
Born and raised on the playground. She spent most of her day. Thank you very much. So
Lesbians that after age 40, if you live in Philadelphia, you're sent to West Philadelphia, where everyone.
Oh my God, that makes so much sense now. I
Yeah.
always assumed it was a voluntary commune, but the fact that it's
No.
mandatory, I get it.
Yeah, it's mandatory. As soon as you move in about a month, everyone's periods get into sync. You start composting together.
Right,
It's,
right.
and that's what I'm going to check out right now.
it-
888-329-3306.
Oh yeah. Let's
Keep
only talk
going.
to the
Keep
people-
going.
The non-period havers will have to walk away from the radio so we can have this. We can do this bit.
Say what?
This is where we go back to talking about eggplant and,
And the contractors. But in all seriousness, Betty, so you had
Yeah.
obviously this is
All
an
seriousness.
unprecedented year. Yeah, it's not going to stay serious. So how did you adapt besides performing for the contractors to keep
Yeah.
yourself sharp and to engage your audience during COVID?
Yeah. Well, we did a weekly virtual mic, the Nacho mic, which is a really fun mic in real life. And as we started to do these open mic comedy online, we realized pretty quickly it's very, very different, obviously.
I was about to ask, how do you do crowd interaction in a virtual comedy show?
Well, it's an open mic, and by default, there's not a lot of audience. So what it ended up being, what it evolved into, was a comedy workshop, pretty much. Like, comics show up every Monday. We're really open about, using the chat and Zoom to punch up each other's jokes, and it's a very like chill vibe. It's not a show vibe. It's you're working out stuff in front of other comics. So it evolved into that, and we also have a little like end of mic game that we play with everybody to help them write new material. It's called the Nacho Challenge. So we like shoot out a question, and you get a minute of your set to like riff and create some new material in front of people. So that's how you were asking about crowd work. That's one of the ways in which we kept our skills sharp. Do a little like improvised bit, which for stand-up comics can be really horrifying.
Yeah.
To try in the moment to do a thing. So we used that Zoom space, and we continue to use that Zoom space to kind of strengthen our muscles of writing, to start to give each other that community thing, which is like feedback, really. We need to know that people are laughing or that they hate it. Either one. Silence is just as important data as laughter.
Absolutely.
But that's how we use. Yeah, that's how we use Zoom.
I have a question for you. Have you explored the platform
No, really,
Clubhouse?
Kay, hit me. Come here and hit me right in the face.
Oh, that was actually Tayrn,
That's
not me.
Tayrn.
Actually
That's
me.
Tayrn.
You're more than welcome to.
Tayrn? Is
I've-
everyone here named? Does everyone here have a K in their name? What's happening?
My name is
No.
actually Tayrn with a T, as in Tom.
Oh,
And I have a C. M-A-R-C.
I'm the only K. It's just
this
me.
is the best part of radio, when we just spell things.
Yes, exactly. It's like Sesame Street or the electric company.
So I know
Nice,
that Clubhouse
Bill.
has really been a huge platform upcoming, and I've seen a lot of comedy acts come and go. Have you explored that at all?
Clubhouse?
Yes.
Now, Clubhouse is on Pornhub, right?
No.
In which case, I'm on there every day.
I think you might be
No?
talking about
Well, now-
OnlyFans,
well,
which
now we
I'm
know
sure
what
you made a
Tayrn's
killing
been
on
doing.
too.
I mean, it's a side hustle.
Yeah, right. Everybody has one.
Work is work, Tayrn. You get it. Whatever. I have not explored Clubhouse. I'm Oprah-whelmed, as we say. Oprah-whelmed with the non-stop energy that everyone seems to perceive and experience, that the thing they are doing in this moment is so important they need to broadcast it. And it's exhausting. I am exhausted. I want a blindfold of, it's almost like, how good is your stuff if it's nonstop? There's a reason your show is just an hour. If it was 24 hours of this show, it's like, well, what part is good? What part is interesting? It's just a nonstop, what we call like vomaria.
I'm trying to
of
figure
your
out
BS.
how many outfit changes Marc would have
I'm
to
like
do
Cher.
in
Yeah, I'd
24
have-
hours to keep us entertained.
Yeah, I'd have several. A lot of
The
glitter.
fact that Marc is doing outfit changes on a radio show, I mean, come on.
Again,
No one else.
craving attention,
tell us-
Betty.
Exactly. You could tell us right now you're wearing a broccoli outfit, and we'd be like, that's great, unless we can't see it, right? So you better make
Well, we're
noise
live
like
streaming
broccoli.
it.
You're live streaming your face?
Yeah.
Why not? Yes, that's what the world. That's what the world wants right now.
Just Marc's face.
8:34 in the morning.
I didn't know you were live streaming this. I guess I only read a couple of words from that.
That's all right.
email.
You're killing it.
I'm killing it?
You are killing it.
But
my
for
God, I
our
hope you guys
audience,
have
if
me back.
you guys didn't know we were live streaming this, you can find it on Facebook at the Fishtown District.
Atta girl.
See that drop I did? Plug that in.
I was told to turn my video off, so you guys can't even see my curls right now. I mean, that was... I'm going to turn it back on.
I was going to
to
say, if you have curls, please turn your video on. Ooh, okay. I see you.
I even took a little shower this morning.
Good
to
for
get ready
you.
For this radio show.
I think we're going to use that to like pump up your comedy show tonight. She took a little shower this morning, so she's ready to go.
Listen, you guys, I want to say that if I can be seriously for 1 second, that in the last year, performers and creators and artists and comedy, makers have been just as traumatized and kind of restructured mentally and emotionally as everybody else. But there's been this huge thing that's been removed from us, and we're now slowly going to go back out and try to bring it back. So if you're an audience member, I pray and hope coming to a show that you give that energy of like, let's get this back. So I want to say, like, give the people on stage a break. Give us like a minute to get our rust off. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, and you'd have to think, and in all seriousness, that people want to be out. They want to do something light, and they want to laugh.
Yeah. I have a whole chicken bit, Mark, that I've been working on for about a year.
I can't
It's pretty
wait.
much me impersonating a chicken, and that's most of what I've been doing this last year. I go to Arboretum or whatever it's called, and they have live chickens out there.
Never let it be said that you didn't use the time wisely.
Wait, are you trying to tell me that they don't have live chickens in your commune in West
West
Philly?
Philly?
Because I thought for sure the lesbian commune had live chickens.
Tayrn, we need to get you on the board of the commune of West Philly. 'Cause
That was Kay
I
that
have-
time.
It's fine. Just we're fluid.
Just have both the women on the board.
I have asked for chickens. I have been ignored.
Oh my God.
Chickens are a decision. You know, you can have goats in the city too, but you have to have like a certain amount of square feet for it. Did you know this?
I mean, these are, ask permission later type of scenarios because in Kensington, we have chickens everywhere.
Yes,
I'm just going to say. We also have horses and goats.
I had a possum 2 days ago, sitting in my trash can.
In Kensington, isn't it the chickens that direct the traffic? I feel like that's their main job up there.
It's actually my alarm
They're
clock.
driving.
but-
Yes. They're causing the traffic, Betty.
Yeah, they cross the
How
road a
long
little
it-
too much.
How long have you guys lived in Fishtown?
Well, actually, we work in. I live in Port Richmond.
I
and
live in
Kay-
Kensington.
There you go. So together,
But I've been
How long
working
have
in Fishtown for almost 10 years now.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So you've been there since the resurrection.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was part of that. I like
Yeah.
to say that I was the cause of...
we're erecting a statue of
Yeah.
Kay as we speak. But it is
What is
amazing.
the
in the
statue made out of?
marble, of course.
oh yes,
I'm that royal.
Yeah,
Like,
we-
let's be real.
No, it's silly putty and Play-Doh.
And maybe some Arctic Splash containers thrown in there.
Betty, have you played the punchline before?
Yes, I have. I've done Punchline a lot. It's a great space. They're great people over there. I'm a huge fan of amplifying, making spaces and stages for other people, like making room for other people. And Punchline does that really, really well in the community of comics. The booker over there and the whole crew over there, they do a great job of, making space for people. I am one of the co-founders of Free Fringe, which is a big old festival that opens up the access and blocks, removes all the obstacles to do a fringe show. And Punchline is just in that same vibe of they're like, they're not gatekeeping, they're not doing that weird like crony kind of thing. They're really focused on making space for others. So, and I think that's rare in comedy and theater, and they're great like that.
Absolutely. And Philly has so much talent when it comes to comedy that it's great to see a space finally start to embrace that and really lift up the comedy community that we have here in Philadelphia.
Yeah, no, you're 100 billion% right. And a bunch of theaters have in the last year have gone away. I mean, that's the other thing. Like, there are a lot of spaces that have not been able to hang on in the last year. So as much as we can show up and feel safe to show up in spaces and support other people, like, let's do it. And also, I just want to reiterate, I will be doing the chicken bit from now on.
Please.
Every set
You will be known as the
set I do.
chicken comic. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
So if people want to see the chicken bit tonight or they want to follow you for your future shows, please tell them how they can get in touch.
I'll translate. Punchlinephilly.com for tickets.
You can follow me on social media at Handstand Store on Twitter, at Betty Smithsonian on Facebook, or you can go to my website at Betty Smithsonian. I think it's bettysmithsonian.com. Let me check with my people real quick. Yeah, bettysmithsonian.com.
And we had one more question for you. Mark and I have a bet going. Is Smithsonian your real last name?
That is a great question. That really is a great question. Thank you for asking that question.
Sips tea. I think I won.
You all have been phenomenal and really delightful. Thank you for reaching out and getting some energy in the comedy world. And please come out and see us tonight. Go support as much as you can. Live theater anywhere, live comedy anywhere. Jake Matera has a great show on Sunday at Helium. Go see that. Come see me tonight. Go support Free Fringe. All that stuff.
Betty, thanks so much. Again, go see Betty tonight at the fabulous Punchline Philly. Tickets still remaining, but they're going fast. Go to punchlinephilly.com. And Betty Smithsonian, thanks so much. We look forward to more chicken impersonations. And hope to see you soon. Thanks again.
All right. Thank you both. Thank you, everybody.
We'll be back in 2 and 2 with Find It in Fishtown Live on WWDB 860 AM.
It's been part of Philly for over 10 years, so Rivers Casino Philadelphia knows how you like to play. With better odds, more playtime, an upgraded rewards program, plus a state-of-the-art sports book, great restaurants, and more. Everything that real players want, without the overpriced distractions. Rivers Casino Philadelphia is for those who play to win, not play to pay for some fancy new place. Rivers Casino Philadelphia, always on our game. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When I was diagnosed with breast cancer, both of my daughters were pregnant, and everything I was looking forward to turned into everything I was going to miss. First words, first steps. Today, those babies are 3. I'm with them all the time. I don't know what's next, but I know I'm here today.
A Susan G. Komen grant helped pay for Alanthia's surgery, and today she's caring for her grandchildren. Help save lives. Visit IamSusanGKomen.org. A public service message from Susan G. Komen.
This is a public service announcement test from TakeMeFishing.org to determine if you need a fishing license and boat registration before heading out on the water. Let's begin. Are you a bear? Do you have a beak? Does your name rhyme with Ald Beagle? Do you dart in front of cars? Here's a tough one. Do you have plumage? Do you rub your body against things to mark them? Do you have webbed feet? No, I mean like a... Were you hatched? Do you have fur? I'm not talking back hair. Does your boat fly south for the winter with the other boats? Regardless of how you answered, you need to be licensed and registered because it helps local conservation efforts protect the very natural resources you enjoy boating and fishing in for generations to come. Do your part at TakeMeFishing.org.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Marc Collazo birthday celebration on Find It in Fishtown Live on WWDB 860 AM. Thank you, Matthew. We're having a lot of fun today. We just had a lot of fun with Betty Smithsonian playing the Punchline Philly tonight. Mm-hmm. Our next guest, who's really been part of the show already,
right,
as I've been told, is the queen of e-gaming, esports. I'm teasing you.
One thing.
I'm teasing.
Mark just has to find a way to make him sound old on every show that we do.
I don't know that I need to find a way. I seem to do that. By the way, if you want to join the fun, give us a call at 888-329-3306. That's 888-329-3306. But without further ado, okay, we've been very lucky in our city. We've watched a lot of things start here, a lot of really dynamic, unique, important things.
Insurance, firefighting. The country. Yeah. Philly history is rich.
And especially in and around our neighborhood. And esports is one of those things. One of really the champions of that industry is, of course, I'll get it out. Nerd Street Gamers. See, Tayrn messed me up. We have one of the representatives of that great company. She's awesome. She's involved with the community. And we want to hear more about what Nerd Street is doing. Nerd Street Gamers is doing, of course. Throtle City, Tayrn McCarty. Welcome, Tayrn.
Thank you for having me.
How do you follow that build up?
I know.
Why do you keep telling me to call it e-gaming, by the way?
I don't, though.
Oh.
But I don't.
You know, we have a lot of credibility. But let's tell us about that. Tell us what, I think everybody has this vision, which I certainly did, of our teenage children sitting hours upon hours upon hours upon hours playing games. But there's really more to it than that. Tell us what Nerd Street does and how it really helps our entire region.
Yeah, so Nerd Street Gamers is an events and an infrastructure company that basically we're providing that pipeline from amateur esports into professional esports. So when you think about esports, it really grew from the professional level. So a lot of money, a lot of advertisement money went into professional sports. But if you're a child and you're playing at home, how do you know if you're any good? That's what Nerd Street's about. So I think our Localhost facilities are that actual in-person facility that you can come to and learn how to compete. You can take an after-school program, you can take a summer camp, and really just learn about the different games and the different opportunities, and then really compete in our events. We do have our winter and summer championships, and if you win any of them, or you are in the top percentage, you'll actually get a college scholarship, or a lot of professional teams will start to reach out to you. So it's been a really whirlwind of my last 2 years at the company. Our last round of capital was raised with Five Below. And they're putting us in about 70 locations over the next 4 years. So we opened our first 3 in tandem with them this last year, actually in 2020. And everything's going extremely well. We're really excited about opening our new headquarters at 401 North Broad Street in the next, over the summer, I guess, is when we're
I know there's no firm date yet.
No
but
firm dates.
We know it's coming soon.
We all know how construction works, but we're really excited about that opportunity. That will be one of our bigger square footages, about 20,000 square feet, with a big, PC pit and consoles. And a huge staging area for those different events.
It's amazing how that industry has grown. What drew you to it, to want to join that company?
So I took a little bit of a break in my career over a couple years ago before joining Nerd Street to really understand sports in general, and sports have always been a huge passion of mine. I come from the advertising industry, but while I was taking that break, I was hanging out with my 6-year-old niece, and all she did all day was watch gamers on YouTube streaming. And I saw the excitement that she had in her eyes, and that was a huge passion of hers. And I started playing these games with her and really saw how everything was well developed. When I heard what Nerd Street was doing in Philadelphia, what really drew me to it is not that they're doing esports. Yes, that's really cool. But the whole mission of the company is to make it as accessible as possible to everyone, right? So if you're a kid that doesn't really come from money, you're able to go to a specific center for a low barrier of entry to really participate in that. Because I think, I'm very, lucky that I grew up with PlayStation and Game Boy and all these different things, but I think a lot of kids aren't that lucky.
And just a reminder of what I grew up with, it was called Pong.
And speaking of, I think that people have a very limited or narrow perspective of what games are available for kids today. You get a lot of media news about all of the shooting and violence that can be present in games. And me personally, you might not know this, I am a gamer.
I'm not surprised one little bit.
And there are a lot of other types of games besides just first-person shooters. There's platformers, there's RPGs that are fantasy style. So can you tell us what are some of the hot games that people are really into right now?
Absolutely. I think actually Rocket League is one of our hottest ticket items, and that's a really cool one because number one, it's free. And number two is it's cross-platform. And what that means is that you can play, if you're on a PC, you can play someone who has a Switch, who can play someone who has an Xbox. A lot of games have that barrier.
Yeah.
But I know Siege is a huge one. It really depends on the different gaming communities. Our events team does a really good job of programming each location across the country to each population. Each gaming community is so different. That is a huge thing that I learned also working here.
Very true.
Yeah.
And how does Nerd Street bring all that together?
So I think when I think of Nerd Street, I think about it in 3 different pillars, right? So we have our events team, which is constantly programming, but we also have our Localhost, which are our facilities where these different programs are coming together. And our 3rd pillar is more of that content, right? That broadcasting, that YouTube's Twitch streaming element. But we bring it all together by having these different events. But I think for me and my role, it's more understanding how do we get kids to participate? How do we get them to not be intimidated, to understand the different industries that you can be exposed to, right? Esports is so new, and I think it's great if you want to be a professional athlete. But for me, like, I wanted to be a professional soccer player. That was not happening.
I couldn't hit a curveball.
Right. But I'm still working in sports in some capacity. And I think it's really important for kids to be empowered to still participate in esports, but understand that the industry as a whole is more than just being a professional athlete.
Absolutely. And I know personally, just from my streaming background, the amount that you can learn just from streaming on Twitch or streaming on YouTube and learning about different monetization strategies and everything that goes into building that content and putting together the marketing to sell that content. It's a huge industry. There's a lot of money to be made in esports.
Yeah, education too, I think is really, really big in that. And I think too, for kids to have that exposure is instrumental in not only their growth as a person, but also that social emotional learning that you get from participating in any other sport.
Absolutely. And that's the other side of where gaming has gotten to, is that a lot of the games that we're talking about now are multiplayer but online. So you can play with people that you've never even met before, and you can have full communication the entire time that you're playing. And I think that that's really interesting about building up that social stratosphere for kids who might not be able to go outside and play in the streets in the way that they used to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for parents, they're always like, yes, but I know there's a lot of toxicity and talking smack back and forth with different kids. That's why we have Localhost, right? You want to come talk smack, go face to face and do that. And I think our executive team is really passionate about that, and we're so excited to get back to in person, as I'm sure the rest of the world is.
Absolutely. One of the things you just brought up is education. Mm-hmm. Like, esports is in schools now. And I know Nerd Street Gamers is now very active in bringing what you do to them. Tell us how that's working and some of the things maybe you're working on now.
So I'm working with Philadelphia Parks and Recreation, most specifically, in coming up with how do we empower each recreation department to understand esports, and maybe then they're sending their kid to Localhost, right? We're the AAU of that facility. Mm-hmm. I think with education in total, it's a lot of high schools want to participate, but they don't have they don't have $5,000 PCs or a budget for that, frankly. Right. And they don't have, it's usually that teacher that raises their hand and says, I'll be the coach, sure, but they don't have any resources behind that. So we might not be the necessary resource for coaching or for, where to, get that league, but you can come to us and we know all the correct people for that. And we really want everyone to be playing in our Localhost facilities. Like, please come play. Like, we have these facilities. We want everyone to understand what Nerd Street is and really lean on us, not only as a resource in esports, but as a resource for the community.
And so what age groups do you guys service or can come play?
Everyone and anyone. I think the interesting part is a lot of times when we're helping kids, their parents all of a sudden are like, I can do this, and they start participating. And you start to see that, right? One of our Localhosts is actually at the Wells Fargo Center, mm-hmm. and parents are always completely blown away when they're taking their kids to a game. And they're like, we really want to stop in here. And they see the bigger aspect of it, right? It's not just your kid sitting in front of a TV playing a video game. It's much, much bigger than that. Well,
it's coordination, it's socialization. There's so much that goes to it. But you guys aren't just restricted to Philadelphia. You guys have grown really leaps and bounds. And I mean, when did Nerd Street Gamers start?
It started over 5 years ago, but it was basically built on North 3rd Street, right? Yep. Northern Liberties, which is why we're Nerd Street. And our CEO just had a vision of really growing the amateur pipeline out, right? There's no little leagues for esports, and that essentially is where we fit in.
And where are you guys going? Some of the places, in case I'm traveling to visit our Florida correspondent, where could I go?
Yeah, so we just opened Oceanside, California, which is right outside of San Diego. I can't wait to visit. Bakersfield is coming up soon, and we also have Hawthorne in LA that should be slated to open this coming fall. We also have that's already open, Denver. Mm-hmm. We have Austin, Texas, St. Louis, and East Falls in Philadelphia. So we're really lucky and really expanding quite rapidly. But we'll see where the world takes us. I mean, I think once events come online, everything will be open so much more.
And where can people go to find out more about Nerd Street?
Sure. They can go to nerdstreetstgamers.com or find us on Instagram or any social media handle, Twitch, YouTube, you name it. We have a show on NBC on Fridays called For the Win FTW. Check us out there.
Awesome. And my final question for you, which I ask everybody, where do you like to go in Fishtown?
Oh, I went to Soraya on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
And I had the Kenefa for breakfast yesterday, the whole thing. And
Look at you.
Awesome. I totally forgot I had that. I did the tasting menu, and they sent me home with dessert, and that was breakfast yesterday. Great way to start your week.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And if you guys haven't been to Soraya, please go
You
check it
must
out.
do it.
It is on Frankfurt Avenue. It's one of the beautiful restaurants with a great outdoor patio area. So if you're looking for a safe place to dine outside, Soraya is where you can go.
And actually voted, I believe, #1 restaurant in the United States.
Was it really?
It was.
Wow.
Well, not to mention, it is a month away from Mother's Day.
Yes.
I already got my Mother's Day reservations there. So make
I'll
sure
be visiting.
to get your reservations in.
I'll be in Florida.
Oh, visiting the Florida correspondent.
Sitting with Eloise and my mother and my stepfather Michael, who was already out playing golf, so who selectively hears. So it'll be a fun 3 days. But Tayrn, thanks again, and please everybody go to Nerd Street Gamers, check it out.
Yes.
They're going to be all over. Looking forward to seeing your new facilities sometime soon, because as you know, no one loves esports
Oh, he's saying it right now.
more than the Fishtown district.
I knew he'd get it by the end of the show.
Yeah, you know what? I am coachable, if nothing else.
I am very proud. Thank you for having me.
No, thanks for being here, and thanks for asking that very wonderful question to Betty.
Yeah,
you were there were like things in it with like Twitch and this and that.
Mark, do you know what Clubhouse is?
I used to build them out of refrigerator boxes as a child.
We'll talk.
Yeah, we'll get him there. It's okay. Soon enough.
Yeah, all this stuff is wasted on me, but I'm glad it's there.
Yeah.
For everyone else who is hip and on top of things. Really, the day can only thank you again, everybody, for making this a wonderful birthday. Kay, Matt, Randy, Tayrn, everyone
Our
who's
Florida
been.
correspondent.
Oh dear Lord.
Mark's mom. Thank
My
you.
mom. Thank you, Vicky Colazzo Spiegelman, for making me possible.
Right.
And
Without
you're
her.
welcome, world. But next week, Vanessa Wong, our wine goddess, is going to be here to enjoy some wine. So have a great day, great week, everybody, and we'll see you next week on Find It in Fishtown Live.
They got nothing but the cheese, but they got different strokes.